Hey there, Skeleton Key here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining in. Especially if you're watching live or if you are tuning in later and catching this on a replay, which is perfectly wonderful. I have a feeling you're not going to be missing a lot in the live because one, I didn't give much notice that this was happening. And if you've been looking at my posting in the last several months, you've probably given me up for dead. But I am still alive. I have to say that a lot. Yes, still alive. And but yeah, I don't know where April went. This is the last day of April, and I am still frantically trying to finish reading for People April and for Academia April and for Old School April. And today is like, oh, this is my last day to go get totally 80s pizza for Old School April. And so I did that, and I've just been running around like mad today. And it's been a rough few months, as you can probably tell by my lack of posting on YouTube over the last few months. And but I am back with Mysterious Mayhem 2026, and this is the Reading is Political edition. Part of that is due to the fact that I've felt really bad the last few months that I have not been able to physically go out and do things. And I have not been able to go to protests or demonstrations. My joints will not do that anymore. I cannot stand in a crowd. That's just not an option. So I need to do something else. And I do have a platform. It's not a large platform, but here it is. And I read books, and that's most, a lot of what I do is reading books and talking about books. And I do very sincerely want to get back into talking about books on YouTube and getting my channel active again. I'm looking at getting some new editing software so that I can actually do some editing, and instead of just doing lives and shorts and posts, that sort of thing. So I do want to get back into being active, and I don't want to tell people what to think, but I feel like as readers, the more we read, the better we are at thinking for ourselves. And reading is political. And you hear people sometimes getting mad at authors for being political. And I don't know. I really wonder about that, because I feel like if you don't feel affected by politics, and I hear a lot of people say that they don't like politics. They don't want to get into politics. They don't want to talk about it because as long as they ignore politics, politics will leave them alone. And I feel like that means either they're living a very privileged existence, or they are not paying attention. And I feel like reading anything it helps all of us to pay attention to what is going on in the world around us. And now, the fluff cozy fluff books exist. I'm not saying they shouldn't, and I'm not saying people shouldn't read them. Sometimes you really do need an escape, just a pure escape. I'm going to go off into this fantasy world where, and turn my brain off and just have fun. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all need that from time to time. But I have a feeling, even in a lot of the fluff books that we read, that there is a lot of there's more to them if we dig deeper. Now, I've read one I read recently that I'm just like, oh my god, this is the most pointless book I have ever read. and yeah, they do exist, and so, sometimes that's what somebody needs, and that's fine. But I do feel like, even if you think politics don't affect you, you're not paying attention. You may, in fact, be living a very privileged existence, but yeah, you need to pay attention. And I do feel like reading books that have sort of a political bent to them, and also, even if you are reading the cozy fluff, if you kind of look a little deeper, and you'll see that even though it purports to be a kind of pointless cozy, that there's more to it. So that's why I've decided to go back a little bit back to basics, just doing 3 prompts, and I'll get this is, I'll just show you this. This is what it looks like, but this is an early version, and I've scribbled my notes all over it. But it's just 3 prompts, and they're kind of open-ended, very open to interpretation. And you don't even have to use the prompts if you don't want to. If you want to participate in Mysterious Mayhem this year, just read one book that represents chaos or mystery to you. It can be just a cozy fluff mystery, or a chaotic horror story, whatever you want to read. If you consider it mysterious or mayhem, it's good. But if you do want a little bit more of a challenge, if you want to look at the politics of life around you or in the past, or maybe looking into the future, there are these 3 prompts. And I will update the description below so that you can see, have those prompts, even if you don't want to go print out the little printable thing. And so the first prompt is Eat the Rich. And I didn't put up banners for this. So the first prompt is Eat the Rich, and that is, like I said, open to interpretation. I do want to stress, I do not recommend taking this literally at all. I don't even like fiction about cannibalism. It just kind of, it squicks me out. But from a purely practical standpoint, I don't think they would taste very good. And I don't know, I just feel like they would have a lot of really nasty chemicals. And yeah, and I've even heard composting the rich is not really a good idea. So this is purely metaphorical. So think like Knives Out, or more specifically Glass Onion, has very much Eat the Rich vibes. So we're going for the vibes here. And I'll go into a little bit more detail and tell you my TBR that I have set for myself, and also some alternates, because sometimes, you pick up a book and you get to reading it and it's like, nope, can't do this. for whatever reason, and you need something else. So the second prompt, eggs are expensive. And so this is, talking about economic realities. And there's a lot of crime fiction around poverty, the failing middle class, that sort of thing. So we'll go into that in a little more detail. And the third one is papers, please. Papier, bitte. And I just learned, because I thought it was papieren, bitte, because that's what I've heard in movies a lot. And no, especially in English language movies, they add the N, even though it's grammatically incorrect in German. In that phrase, papieren, bitte is not right. It's not the dative or something. I don't know. I don't, my German is crap. So I know a few phrases in German, enough to get into trouble, not necessarily back out. But that is, they do it just to make it sound more harsh. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah. It's been a while since I've done this, so my vocal cords I have vocal cord dysfunction, and so my vocal cords are starting to give out on me already. So I'm gonna have to make this really quick. But I did find out that is, when they say papieren bitte, that is actually grammatically incorrect in German, and it should be Papiere bitte. But papers, please. And, this is a reference to, and I learned a new word today, crimigration. So I'm gonna, so there's all sorts of crime fiction, basically anything set in World War II. But I am going to now, oh gosh, they've changed everything around. Excuse me just a minute. All right. No, that adds a person. I want to add a screen. Share screen. All right. Okay. See, does that show up? Yes. All right. So going back to the first prompt, eat the rich. I will be reading Guillotine by Delilah S. Dawson, assuming I can find a copy. I think the library has it on Libby. I'm not sure. And so the menu meets Ready or Not in this dark tale of opulent luxury and shocking violence from the New York Times bestselling author of Blue. So that Delilah S. Dawson, it has been hit or miss for me, but when she hits, she's really good. So I'm looking forward to reading this, and I am sorry, but my voice will not handle reading the full description to you. So let's see. Some others I'm considering are Eat the Rich by Sarah Gailey, My Darling Dreadful Thing by Johanna van Veen, The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine, and I've got 2 other recommendations that I have read. The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith, which is it's wicked. It's a wicked book, and I love it. And then the other one is Devolution by, I think that one's by Max Brooks, and it has some Glass Onion vibes to it. Definitely there, yeah. Okay, so now moving on. Pardon me again. And no, I am not actually crying. It's just my vocal cords hurt that much right now. So, sorry. I'll just get through this really quick. Eggs Are Expensive. I will be reading American Exit Strategy by Mark Goodwin. And it is a Christian dystopian novel. And I believe by Christian dystopian novel, they mean that it is a Christian dystopia, not that it is a Christian examination of a dystopia, which are, yeah, that's 2 different things. And so there we're dealing with, America is on the cusp of financial annihilation. Full-scale financial meltdown. Gee, this sounds kind of familiar. Okay, some other things that I'm looking at are Murder Lo Mein by Vivian Chen, which is the 3rd book. I've read the first 2. It starts with Death by Dumpling, and that is the Noodle Shop series, mystery series. And, so, they're kind of, fluffy, cozy books, but, they're dealing with the realities of, 1, being an immigrant family, and 2, trying to run a restaurant. And, I mean, have you seen the restaurant scene lately? It's really in bad shape because ingredients are so expensive. And then let's see, The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck, and Little Underworld by Chris Harding Thornton. And then Papyrabita, Papers, Please. I will be reading, trying to read again. I got to, as you can see, I got to 13% in this in February. And February was kind of grim, and I could not finish it. I was like, I cannot read this right now. I'll try it again later. So May is later, and it is, let's see, a riveting and utterly original novel about one woman's fight for freedom set in a near future where even dreams are under surveillance. And that is the Dream Hotel by Layla Lalami. And so I was reading it when everything was, with ICE was just getting really bad, and I mean it still is, but and that's another thing is about politics, is things get into this news cycle and then they go away and we forget about them, and that's what they want us to do. So we need to keep these things in the forefront. And some other things that I'm looking at are American War by Omar El Akkad. Who I believe he is our Fort Collins Reads author this fall. I think I'll have to look that up. Yeah, I can do that right now. Yes, Omar El-Akkad. So the book we are all reading, well, yeah, not everybody in Fort Collins, but we're a pretty bookish town. One day, everyone will have always been against this. So that is also on my list. Sorry. Yes, I will try to move this along. But yeah, so I do really want to read American War is a novel. So I am interested in reading that. And then Death Rattle by Alex Gilly. Um, and then two that I can recommend are Everyone Who Is Gone Is Here by Jonathan Blitzer. So if you are in the mood for a real thick chonker of a book, I do highly recommend that. It is nonfiction, but it has a really strong narrative through line, and it's just an amazing, amazing book about the chaos that is uh, our public policy and uh, in relation to Central America. And yeah, I do highly, highly recommend that. And then a collection of short stories, The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana Enriquez. And that is, it is very grotesque in nature. And yeah, let's see. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. All right. The Dangers of Smoking in Bed. Yeah, they're very disturbing short stories, but if you're kind of paying attention, they do all sort of not obviously interrelate. It's not like a mosaic novel sort of thing, but they do have a sort of a theme of disappearing people, and it's one of those things that you kind of need to pay attention to. And if you find yourself being kind of lost and you don't know what's going on, definitely look up the history of Argentina. Yeah, she's an Argentine author, and Mariana Enriquez, and take a look at what was going on in that time period in Argentina, and several other countries as well. But yeah, people being disappeared, which yeah, we're seeing that a lot today, and it's disturbing. And yeah, it's happened before. It'll happen again. But that's why it's important to stay aware of what's going on in the world and be looking for ways to spread the word about what is going on and helping other people understand. Um, and uh, I I do want to hear from other people if they have other suggestions that fit these prompts. That would be a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm always up for hearing about books like that are kind of subversive like that. But also things that you went into thinking they would be fluff pieces, and you actually found something deeper, some more hidden meaning. I'd love to hear about those as well. And I need to go because my voice is about shot. So, but I look forward, yeah, please drop something in the comments and let me know how it's going. And I hope to set up sort of a schedule for throughout the month, some weekly check ins, that sort of thing. So I look forward to talking to you. Bye.